A TV studio where Jungkook is present for an exclusive interview. The cameras are rolling. Spotlights are directed at his face, which looks calm but full of charisma. Reporter, smiling. Jungkook SSI, there's one question that gets asked a lot, but fans are still curious, and honestly, so are we. Just how much do you admire Lisa? Jungkook, smiling softly, sitting up straighter. That question always comes up, doesn't it? He lets out a small laugh. But I think it's okay if I answer it one more time. The camera zooms in on his face, which now looks more serious, yet warm. Jungkook continues, his voice calm. I know Lisa not just as an idol. Not just as a member of Blackpink. I know her as an extraordinary human being. Through all the collaborations and chances we've had to meet, I've seen sides of her that the public doesn't always get to see. She's hardworking. A perfectionist. But also incredibly humble. Reporter, you mentioned collaborations. You've been seen together at several events. Fans are always speculating. Jungkook, smiling wider, lowering his head a little shyly. Yes, we've met at many events. Fashion shows, music festivals, even during a few dance practices. I won't lie, I'm always impressed by how she makes the atmosphere feel comfortable. Even though she's so famous, she still manages to make people around her feel at ease. Jungkook pauses for a moment, then speaks more deeply. I admire Lisa, in many ways. But what I admire most is her courage. She moved from Thailand to Korea at a young age, chased her dreams, survived in a tough industry, and now, she's a global icon. But she's never arrogant. She's still the same person who always greets you with a smile and laughs freely. Reporter, curious, so would you say your admiration is personal, too? Jungkook, looking at the reporter with a gentle smile. Yes. I admire her as a human being. I think, the more I get to know her, the more I realize that admiration doesn't just come from accomplishments, but from how someone lives their life. The camera switches angles, showing Jungkook's hand holding a bottle of water. He seems a bit nervous, but sincere. Reporter, jokingly, if one day you had to describe Lisa in just 3 words, what would you choose? Jungkook, pausing for a moment. Brave. Elegant. Sincere. Reporter, pausing for a moment, then saying you probably know, after you mentioned Lisa in a past interview, fans went wild. Many say you're the ultimate visual couple. Jungkook, laughs softly. I know. I read some of the comments too. But I think, a beautiful relationship, whatever form it takes, doesn't always need to be fully explained to the public. Some things are more beautiful when enjoyed in silence. The reporter nods, shifts to another topic, but returns after a commercial break. Reporter, Jungkook SSI, sorry, one last question before we end this session. If Lisa is watching this interview right now, what would you want to say to her? Jungkook, smiling, then looking straight into the camera. Thank you for being an inspiration. Not just to me, but to many people around the world. Never stop shining in your own way. And, keep dancing like you never get tired. The interview ends. But the camera lingers a few seconds longer, capturing Jungkook's unfeigned expression, sincere, full of respect, and perhaps, feelings left unspoken. His face glows under the studio lighting. His black hair is neatly styled, and he wears a clean white shirt with the sleeves rolled up, showing his signature tattoos. His smile is small, slightly shy, but full of charisma. Sitting across from him is MC Jin Young, a veteran journalist who has hosted hundreds of episodes, but today feels special. Not only because Jungkook is the guest, but because one name is brought up again, Lisa of Blackpink. Jungkook SSI, Jin Young says while looking directly into his eyes, I know this might sound classic, but netizens and fans keep asking, how much do you admire Lisa? Jungkook smiles softly. He touches his left ear, a long-time habit when he feels nervous. Then he takes a light breath, looks at the camera, and answers, that question always comes up. He says gently, I think even if I were asked 10 times, I'd answer differently each time. Because my admiration for Lisa, it grows and changes over time. The studio falls silent for a moment. The camera captures the depth in his eyes, as if they hold stories behind every word. The first time I met Lisa, was backstage at a music awards show. She arrived earlier than Blackpink, and I was sitting alone, waiting for my turn to perform. She greeted me first, even though we'd never spoken before. Jungkook smiles, remembering the moment. Her voice was soft, but she spoke with confidence. She looked me in the eye as she introduced herself. People say I'm shy, but at that moment, I felt calm. She has an aura that makes people feel at ease. Jin Young adds, many fans say the two of you look perfect on stage together. Even during encores, when the cameras caught you smiling at each other. Jungkook chuckles, then bows his head shyly. That's a moment we couldn't really hide. I won't lie, there's always a sense of comfort when standing next to Lisa. Jungkook begins to open up more deeply. He talks about how they often met in dance practice rooms, for collabs or viral dance challenges. I've practiced in the same room with her. You know what amazes me? She's never satisfied. Even after the 10th take, she'll say, one more time, Appa. He mimics Lisa's cute voice, making the whole studio laugh. But his gaze remains serious. She always wants the best result. But strangely, she doesn't pressure others. Instead, she motivates. I'm usually laid back about extra choreography, but with her, I get excited too. Jin Young lifts a photo on the studio's LED screen, a candid of Jungkook and Lisa at a fashion event in Paris. This photo went viral. You're standing side by side, Lisa is laughing, and you were looking at her with eyes that, forgive me, looked very different. Jungkook sees the photo and laughs shyly. Yes. I remember that moment. She was joking about how her high heels almost made her trip. I was just listening to her laugh. And yes, maybe that look in my eyes was honest. He adds more softly, as if speaking only to himself, I think sometimes we can't hide admiration. Especially when it comes from the heart. Jin Young teases, so, have you ever expressed your admiration directly to Lisa? Jungkook looks straight ahead, then nods. I once told her, you inspire so many people, including me. But I'm not sure she knows how deeply I meant it. He shrugs slightly, with a soft smile, because I think, the most sincere admiration doesn't always have to be shouted out loud. Sometimes, it's enough through the way we observe, listen, and respect. Jin Young gives him 1 minute to speak as if Lisa is watching. Jungkook looks into the camera, his eyes serious but warm. Lisa, if you're watching this, I want to say, thank you for always being yourself. The world can be tough, but you keep dancing, smiling, and giving others strength.